We have some breaking news. Teenage Engineering has they have copyright striked a familiar face for something that I believe is fair use. You guys may have heard of a channel named Audio Pills with an infamous series known as Bad Gear, a show that reviews gear that is often bad or good, and it is the YouTube show with the most MPM, memes per minute. I've actually done an interview with him in the past year. If you want to check that out, I'll have it linked up here, but you should stick around for this story first. Okay, so Teenage Engineering, you may have heard of this company. What I would call overpriced hipster equipment. It's pretty decent stuff. A lot of it is overpriced, such as their desk. They did release a product that was not that bad though in terms of price. $2.99, not too bad. Pretty basic sampler with a decent UI, not bad for the price range. Then they released the medieval version. Now this is where we start to dive into our story. And then they released this promo video here. This one here, introducing EP 1320 Medieval. Now I'm not really sure if I can play this here, and you'll see why here in a second. So as you can see here, Audio Pills wrote, nice, I don't even have to edit the intro this time. Now this is a bit of foreshadowing here because what he ended up doing was taking this video and editing a bit of Monty Python and then just throwing in his stereotypical intro. So basically he smashed up all those things together and then he uploaded it to his YouTube channel, a bit different from his usual stuff, and it was totally fine for a few months now. I think it's been about 3 or 4 months since he uploaded that. But what ended up happening is he got copyright struck for this. For those of you who don't know, a copyright strike on YouTube is pretty detrimental to your channel. If you get 3 of them before they expire, then your whole channel just gets deleted. So to strike somebody's channel is some pretty serious stuff. You're basically advocating for the deletion of their channel. You don't do it lightly. There can be legitimate reasons to copyright strike somebody though, somebody re-uploading something that is not fair use. Transformative is considered fair use, and there are different ways to be fair use. One being criticism, another being commentary, and parody. Now, fair use is only something that can be determined in court, but these are the general guidelines of it. It is determined on a case-by-case basis, but generally, if it's a parody of something, you should be allowed to use it under the guidelines of fair use. The good thing about fair use is you do not need to seek permission from the copyright holder. You can even monetize. Now, this is very useful because it allows you to criticize something or give commentary on something by showcasing what it is. Whether it's a video, a piece of audio, whatever it is, you showcase a portion of it. That way people know what you're talking about. If I was talking about a song and then I couldn't show you the song, you're just gonna have to imagine it in your head. Some of the things used to determine whether or not something is fair use is the purpose and character of the use, the nature of the copyrighted work, the amount and sustainability of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole, and the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. I feel like it's a pretty clear cut here. I can't show the video in question, but basically it would be considered parody because he was making fun of it by putting his own song over it and then splicing in clips from Monty Python. Was Teenage Engineering being malicious by doing this? I'm not 100% certain. It is possible it was an accident. It's hard for me to think that they were actually offended by this because I make fun of them all the time. And there's totally, if they wanted to abuse fair use, then they could totally just go after my channel, probably much harder than they could Audio Pills' channel. Now, this other video I saw about this, I was actually gonna do a little research on this. Yeah, I know. Without any research. So I stumbled upon this video here, Dangerous Copyright Precedent Set by Teenage Engineering. I started watching a little bit of it, and basically the entire thing is wrong. The only thing he got right are the company names, and that Audio Pills had received a strike. Because in this video, he states that Audio Pills had uploaded a review, which this was not a review. He also stated that he was playing samples from the product in the video. That's not what happened. And it's kind of just, it's all around a bunch of misinformation. I don't think he was doing this intentionally. I think he was just trying to be the first one to break the story. And that's fine, but you got to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. I mean, and if you need confirmation on this, we have Audio Pills in the comments here. A word of clarification, the video in question was a mashup. Their inspired medieval promo video and Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which was super funny because it was really hard to tell the two sources apart in the end. It was not a regular Bad Gear video, and I would never say anything bad about Teenage Engineering. Now, if you don't believe me, here, take a look at a portion of this video here.
Now let's talk about Florian and Teenage Engineering. He did a review of their medieval unit, and they did basically what I was just showing you. He played some of the samples and said, hey, listen to these samples, listen to these weird samples they used, and then he used them in a composition and played back his composition and so on.
None of that happened. Absolutely none of that happened. And it pays to be the first to upload something, though. I mean, look at this. 50,000 views, 3,500 likes. But realistically, there's not a single thing that is right in this video, basically, other than the fact that he got a copyright strike.
Well, he was not very kind to Teenage Engineering. Well, he's not very kind to any instrument, really, but Teenage Engineering took umbrage with his review of their unit, and they issued a copyright strike. And why did they do that? Because they said he played samples in his video that belong.
I have no idea where he got this information from. None of it is correct. Absolutely none of this is correct.
To them. I thought, well, that's odd because every other synth manufacturer specifically allows you to do that. So I pulled up the legal information from Teenage Engineering for this specific unit, and it's very different. Obviously, it says.
Now, I haven't seen this part of the video, so I don't know if he's onto something here or not. I guess we'll find out.
The material in this has samples, sound files, and so on. You're permitted to use the material in the creation, performance, recording, and distribution of your own original creation. So if you have a song and you've put in some samples from their unit in your song.
This guy's he's stretching this out here. Just get to the point, man.
Song, totally allowed. That's pretty much normal. However, this is where it gets sticky. Prohibited usage. You're prohibited from redistributing, reselling, leasing, sharing, reproducing, or publicly displaying the material in its original or modified form, including through online platforms, public performances, broadcasts, or as part of derivative works, unless it is substantially transformed into an original creation.
I mean, I think all they're really saying there is you're not allowed to redistribute the samples. Maybe it's worded a bit funny. I'm not sure, though.
You are absolutely not allowed to take any of the Teenage Engineering devices, play their samples on YouTube and say, hey, listen to these samples. That is.
So since that's not what actually originally happened in order to get Florian his strike, I am curious. If somebody wants to test this, I am almost sure they will not issue a copyright strike for that. If I had to guess what happened, like I said, I think the automated YouTube system, not the system automatically took it down, but in the back end of YouTube, there's an ability for you to see other things that use your content, essentially. And I'm betting they saw this video that used maybe 80% of the original video, and they just figured without even looking at it that it was just somebody just re-uploading it. I'm normally somebody that shits on Teenage Engineering, so keep this in mind here. I really can't see them doing this on purpose because, I mean, if I'm being honest, Bad Gear's criticism of Teenage Engineering is not that deep. If they want to do this to somebody, they would do it to me, and they could easily do it. That's my take on this.
Teenage Engineering does not allow that. If you've got a song, and at the very beginning of the song, you have a hit from their device, and it's not modified and incorporated in.
Now, part of the reason I think they do this whole thing with saying that you should modify the samples is because then they're going to have to worry about people claiming copyright over it, essentially. Let's say there's a loop in it, and they use the loop unedited in your song at the beginning of your song. Anybody else who uses that loop after that is automatically going to get claimed from your song. Now, that's what I think the purpose of that is. I could be wrong, like I said. I'm not going to assume.
What they're saying is what Florian did in his video violates these terms of service.
I don't understand how this guy got the confidence to say this without even checking it. Now, I understand the video in question is gone, but I do actually remember that video. I remember seeing that video because I watch a lot of Bad Gear's videos, especially on my stream. And yeah, I don't know. I guess he was just assuming since all his other videos are that way, or a majority of them.
That said, there's the overarching rule of fair use. Can you use this as a review in fair use, and does that violate the copyright doctrine? No, it does not. What he did was covered under fair use. However, it violates that specific license that Teenage Engineering has for its samples. So it's a sticky area, but it's something that you need to know.
I think the stickiest area is getting your information correct. But hey, sometimes I get my information incorrect too. I just think it's pretty dangerous, in my opinion, to keep an entire video up like this. That's just almost completely from front to back wrong. Honestly, I think this guy should be careful because after this gets settled, I mean, you could possibly get sued for defamation for this. But yeah, I don't know. Your decision, man. Your decision. I don't think they could really prove damages for it, but they could still take you to court or not able to prove damages. Yeah, the thing that sucks about this too is people in the comments are kind of just buying it. And the funny thing is I don't really like Teenage Engineering either, but I want to not like them for the right reasons, I don't want to make something up in order to not like them. People are saying, oh, it's time for Behringer to clone Teenage Engineering. Well, I agree with this. Most expensive over-engineered personal can upset players. Any company using copyright strikes to silence criticism is evil. Yeah, that is the case. That's not not what happened here. A copyright strike on a bad review, that's not what happened. Let's hope Behringer clones all their stuff. It's kind of sad, man. It's kind of sad. I mean, it's bittersweet because I don't like Teenage Engineering, but I don't want to see them get lies told about them in order to bring them down. Let's be honest, the people that buy Teenage Engineering products are not gonna not buy them because of this controversy, even if they really did silence it because of criticism, which they obviously did not. But yeah, that's all I have for you today, guys. Just wanted to dive into that a bit deeper because I did not really see a video on the internet that completely covered this properly. And I want to get the right information out to you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe if you're new here.